Welcome to Australia. I'm Paul Comfort, and on this, the first of 2 Transit Unplugged TV episodes from the land down under, we'll explore the world's most livable city, Melbourne. We'll show you what makes this city so special, and we'll take a look at the world's largest light rail system, the Yarra Trams network. After that, we'll dive down to Tasmania. Yeah, that's right, Tasmania, where I'll be speaking at the nation's largest bus conference and searching for that elusive little creature that I loved on my Saturday morning cartoons, the Tasmanian Devil. Will I find one? You'll have to wait and see. All on this episode of Transit Unplugged TV. In Melbourne, the rivers, the alleys, the city, the great shops, amazing architecture, and the world's largest tram network, Yarra Trams. The city boasts amazing alleyways where street art, unique boutiques, and hidden cafes create an urban adventure in this, the world's most livable city. And everyone rides Yarra Trams. Sankit, I know that Yarra Trams is the biggest in the world, the biggest tram network. How big is it?
We've got about 475 trams in service, and it is the largest network in the world, 250 kilometers of double track. It covers all of Melbourne CBD, and it goes out into the suburbs as well.
Wow, that's massive. But how good is it? I mean, you're here all the time. Is it a pretty good system?
Oh, it's fantastic. You can come into the city through the train, and it's connected. The central business district is free. There's a tram every couple of minutes as we are standing here. At least 4 trams have passed us, and everyone uses it. It's absolutely fantastic.
Now, I've noticed there's some older trains as well as newer trains. Tell me about the rolling stock. What's happening there?
We've got a heritage tram that runs across the city, which is one of the older trams. And there is new rolling stock that is coming in. Out of the 475, I think we've got most of it upgraded, and next year there's going to be more upgrades to the rolling stock with really advanced trams.
Kelly, we're here at Flinders Street Station, and I want to get down to the bay, where kind of the beach is here. But I got one question. How do I get there?
Paul, we're going to get on the number 16 right now. We're going to go all the way down to what's called St Kilda. It's going to be great.
All right, let's go. You can ride Yarra Trams almost anywhere in the city, like we did, taking it about 6 kilometers south of downtown to Melbourne's most famous beach, St Kilda, where you can swim or sunbathe in their 700 meters of sandy beach, hear live music, windsurf, or just walk along the boardwalk, enjoying their unique shops and that hot beverage Melbourne is famous for around the world, its amazing local coffee. Most of the local bus transportation in Australia is contracted out. Let's visit one of their bus providers.
Well, welcome to Transit Systems Victoria, Paul.
Thanks.
Hopefully you're enjoying the weather here.
Oh, it is great, man. I love being here. So tell us about what you guys do here, John.
So here at Transit Systems Victoria, we operate 200 buses out of this single site in West Footscray. We're certainly spoilt for space. We've got 46,000 square metres here.
Wow.
There's currently 360 staff at this one site. Out of the 200 buses, 100 of those are government route service buses, and the other 100 buses are general charter buses. So we've got a real dynamic here of revenue streams and work streams.
So John, how are you situated for drivers here?
I'd like to say that we've been lucky here, but I think it's a strategy that the leadership group and I always had in place when we started here. The leadership group, the majority of them have been here for less than 3 years, and coming out of COVID, there was definitely issues around any sort of workforce, whether they were drivers or not, and we agreed that our strategy had to be to become the employer of choice.
Amelia, great to see you, my friend. Yeah, that's good. So I hear that you as the trainer are in charge of a program, Hidden Disabilities Sunflower Program. That sounds very good. Tell me about that some.
Yes, it is. The Sunflower Program, it's all about hidden disabilities, which started at Gatwick Airport in London. We became a member of this organisation because we're extremely interested in it, and it's about, the sunflower part of it is about people with hidden disabilities. These lanyards that we're wearing is part of it, that the drivers in our organisation wear, and the person with the disability, the hidden disability, would be wearing a dark green one.
Okay.
And if they spot the lanyard, then they know that this person might come up to them and ask, can we help you or can you assist? because a hidden disability could be someone that's socially a little bit awkward. It could be someone that doesn't want to be verbal problems, so they know that they can trust the driver because they've been trained in hidden disabilities.
Inside the operations control center, dispatchers utilize high-tech software and hardware to track the location of buses at all time and provide assistance to operators and passengers alike. I got to speak to a class of new bus drivers about the important role they were about to take behind the wheel. And we toured the maintenance shop and spoke with their fleet manager about their first 2 hydrogen-powered buses in the state of Victoria. Samuel, I love your hydrogen buses, man. These are great.
Yes, it's very interesting and nice to be at the forefront of technology.
Absolutely.
So these 2 buses just here, they're actually built by a company called ARC. They're located in New South Wales. The chassis on them are actually fully aluminium and takes about 2 tonne in weight off the vehicle.
Wow. Yeah. And how long can you run on one charge of one of these vehicles now?
Usually we have to do a fuel on them every 3rd day, and they can stay on road for about 16 hours a day.
16 hours a day, 3 days with 1 fueling.
Yes.
That is amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible, and compared to some of the other vehicles, it's outstanding as far as on-time running.
So, talking transit here, huh? That's the name of your company, Transit Systems?
Yeah, so you're at Transit Systems Victoria at the moment, but Transit Systems Victoria is part of the Calcium Group, which is a top 200 ASX listed company.
Yes.
We're the largest bimodal transport operator in Australia. We're also in the US, Singapore, the UK. It's enormous. You know, I think our employees are upwards of 10,000 now.
Wow.
But here in Victoria, we operate 200 buses. It's a mixture of government route service buses and general charter buses.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
It's great.
Pleasure.
Yeah.
Thanks for visiting us at West Footscray, and enjoy the rest of your trip.
We will. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, this is great, Dr. Curry. Thank you so much for having me here at Monash University. You and I have been friends for years in Melbourne. Tell me what we're doing tonight.
So this is the welcome event to a public transport training course we've been doing every year around the world.
That's great. And what are they doing here behind us?
Well, as part of the welcome event, we get everybody to meet each other by playing a game devised by Professor from TU Delft here. Explain who you are.
Yes.
I'm Niels Noord from TU Delft, and indeed we developed this serious game to think about the future of transport and to find the optimal mix of modes connecting to the societal goals we want to achieve.
There's such a great multicultural food influence in Australia. Here we enjoyed a tasty Asian infusion lunch with local and national transit leaders, talking trends and getting to know each other better. Wow, what a great sunset, Callie, here on the Yarra River.
So beautiful.
It's amazing. You know what else is amazing is how different things are down here. And we've even got different words for the same things. So we say buddy.
We say mate.
I say I want some ketchup.
I need some tomato sauce.
And I want that ketchup on some French fries.
I need them on chips.
And then I want some candy afterwards.
I want lollies.
Gosh, that's great. I'm wearing flip-flops to the beach.
I'm wearing thongs.
And then I want to get on the light rail vehicle.
We're going to catch the tram.
Amazing. Cheers to being different but still the same.
Love it. Cheers.
Jamie, you're the president of the Emerging Mobility Leaders Program. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I'd love to. Thank you. I'm the chair of the Emerging Mobility Leaders Program. We were formed in 2021 as a committee under the PTA ANZ, so the Public Transport Association Australia and New Zealand. And our role is to champion and platform young and emerging professionals in the public transport industry.
Jamie, tell me about the diversity of the type of jobs that are represented.
Yeah, absolutely. So our group is diverse in terms of geographic location across Australia and New Zealand, as well as experience and education. So we have planners, we have engineers, we have project managers, we have people who work in comms. And we really think that diversity of experience and education and thought is kind of the future of our industry. So we're happy to cultivate it.
Next, we visit another of their bus providers. Hey Savo, thanks for having us here at Kinetic's Operations Center. Tell us a little bit about what we're looking at.
So we're looking at Kinetic's Operations Center, which is basically the heart of our operation here. So with 540 buses out on the road, the team here manages them in real time. So anything from basically lost property to any major incidents or accidents.
So Tom, tell me about all this.
Yeah, so this, my name's Tom. I'm General Manager for Kinetic Melbourne, and I guess Kinetic is a company, we're sort of Australasia's largest bus operator. We're at Sunshine West Depot today, which is one of our 6 depots in Melbourne, one of our 2 electric depots currently. And in Melbourne specifically, we operate 6 depots. So we operate the Metropolitan Bus franchise, which is about 30% of Melbourne's network. And we've recently been awarded another franchise under the Metropolitan Zero Emissions Bus franchise, which will see another 50 zero emission buses coming into the Kinetic fleet within the next 4 to 5 years. So under the canopies here is where we have all of our electric vehicle chargers. We've got 24 dispensers on site, so we will have 25 electric vehicles on this site from next month. We use Siemens UC200 chargers, so they are capable, or the dispensers are capable of charging up to 5 vehicles at a time through sequential charging.
All right, I'm about ready to hop in the seat of this battery electric bus here in the garage in Melbourne. I haven't driven a bus in a couple months. Here we go. Checking the mirrors, making sure everything's safe. These are pretty awesome mirrors. These are like little TVs for the side view mirrors, and it gives you a lot of room to make sure you don't hit anything here. All right, here we go. We're gonna take a soft turns. Look out, Melbourne. Comfort's behind the wheel. I love Australia, I gotta tell you that. Tell us about your transit association here.
So the Public Transport Association of Australia and New Zealand actually includes all government departments across the region, and it's really led by the government authorities to make sure that their vision is realized in the region.
And what is that vision?
So one part of it is that Australia has very ambitious net zero goals, and we've actually seen from research that if you move 30% of people from driving to public and active transport, you can actually achieve our net zero obligations with that change alone.
And what would you say the state of public transportation is here in Australia? We're out of the pandemic now, we're on to what's happening right now, what do you see for the future?
Well, the really cool thing is that we have the biggest public transport investment that we've ever seen in our history. And so now we're seeing the finalization of some of these major projects that are tens of billions of dollars, and they're being realized and being operationalized so you can use them. So over the next few months, you'll actually be able to come out of Sydney Metro and see how cities are transformed by public transport.
All right, now while I'm here, I'm looking for a Tasmanian Devil. You know, I used to watch Bugs Bunny when I was a kid, and you always saw the thing spinning. I know it doesn't look like that, but where am I going to find a Tasmanian Devil?
You need to go to Tasmania.
Not a bad idea. So, let's go to Tasmania. We've just arrived here in Tasmania from Melbourne. We're in the capital city of Hobart for the National Bus Conference where I'll be speaking. While we're here, we're going to take you to the top of their big Mount Wellington. We're going to go visit a great vineyard, and I'm still searching for that elusive Tasmanian Devil. We'll see if we find it on the second part of Transit Unplugged TV. Hobart is the capital city of the Australian island state of Tasmania. There I spoke to the CEO of the state's public transportation system in their wonderful downtown harbour area.
Hi Paul, welcome to Hobart. It's great to have you here.
This is beautiful, Katie.
We have turned the weather on for you down here at the waterfront in Hobart today.
Thank you. Katie, speaking of the waterfront, I mean, this is a great place to host the big conference here, the bus conference. For somebody like me, the first time I'm here coming, what's a great place or a couple places we could visit?
There's a lot to do here in Hobart, and even just within 15 or 20 minutes we've got Richmond, which is a quaint little town that's great to have a walk around, but really importantly, it's actually in a wine region that you can actually stop and have some beautiful wines and some great chocolates and even some cheese, and that's all within about 15 or 20 minutes of the city.
That's awesome. Well, tell us about Metro Tasmania, the transit system here.
Metro Tasmania is the largest Tasmanian-owned public transport provider here in the state, and we operate in Hobart, Burnie and Launceston, and we operate buses. So really we are a bus state, so that's why it's really exciting that Vic is here with us, because this is what we do and what we do well. We have about 550 staff who service all the community around the areas that we operate, and it's great to be able to help people connect from where they go, you know, to go to school, to go to work, to go home, to go see friends and family, or perhaps just get their groceries.
I was happy to be a keynote speaker at the Australian National Big Bus Conference talking about international public transit trends. Then afterwards, such a joy to be able to catch up with my friend and one of Sydney, Australia's top transit officials, Howard Collins. Howard, great to be with you.
Thank you
Here in
very much.
Hobart, we're meeting at the bus conference.
And it's a beautiful day in Tasmania, isn't it?
It
I mean,
is
it's
a great day.
It almost feels warm, which is great for Hobart.
Yes, yeah. So you and I have been pals for a while. Tell us about what you do there in Sydney, Australia, at the biggest city in Australia.
Well, I have the grand title of Coordinator General, but generally I coordinate. And really that's responsible for the day-to-day operation of bus, ferries, light rail, and coordinating all the public transport in the short term, but also the medium term as well.
Okay, and what modes, and tell us about the system itself in Sydney.
Well, Sydney used to be a car-centric city in the 50s, 60s, almost like a mini American city.
Okay.
But it has transformed, and we're now seeing a brand new metro just opened, $20 billion Australian dollars worth of investment there, right through the heart of the city. It feels like Hong Kong and Singapore or the Elizabeth line in London.
Wow.
We've got a brand new investment, $4 billion in new electric buses and electric infrastructure because we want to electrify. We have some of the oldest diesel buses in the world.
Okay.
And we want to improve that. And I think the other thing is light rail. You know, this ability to transform cities. George Street used to be lined by 40 or 50 buses in each direction. It was a terrible place to live and breathe. Now, with the trams going up George Street down to our famous circular quay, you get a beautiful experience with a tram every 3 or 4 minutes. That is expanding.
Hobart has some wonderful waterways, and we got to traverse them by ferry on our way to visit the famous Mona Immersive Art Museum on the other side of the harbor. What a great location to be here in Tasmania. We're on a hillside vineyard where they grow some world-famous wines. Tasmanian wines are made here in the state of Tasmania, which is part of Australia. It's on an island just south, and because it's lower on latitude, it produces some amazing cool weather climate wines. Some sparkling Chardonnays and some fantastic Pinot Noirs, which we just enjoyed over lunch. It was great. And when you walk here in one of these great vineyards, you just get this sense of peace and tranquility. Oh, woo! Oh my goodness! Just what I've been looking for, a Tasmanian Devil. I think I'll call you Neville. Neville the Devil. Standing at the top of Mount Wellington in Tasmania, Australia, where we just attended their national bus conference and spoke to top transit leaders from cities like Hobart, the host city, to Sydney, Australia. And what a great time we had in Melbourne, where we found out that this world's most livable city really moves on its Yarra Tram and total transit system and their coffee. And remember, this is only part one of our two-part series from Australia. Be sure to like and subscribe us here on YouTube so you won't miss our next episode from Brisbane. Thanks for being with us today on Transit Unplugged TV.